My name is...
What?
My name is...
Who?
My name is...
What's the mecca building railroads and train? Bear with me for a second, let me put y'all on. The white man was using town folk to make a richer. Fast forward 2024, you got the same I run to Atlanta when you need a hey, you can't future when you didn't see the little baby help you get your legal 21 get your front street. Dog make you feel like you a slime in your You run to Atlanta when you need a dollars, so you're not a colleague.
I'm back. Tell me it's a good summer. There's a sexually transmitted fungus spreading across the US. God, give me COVID back. Then there's outbreaks of E. coli in the UK, dengue in Europe, Mpox in South Africa, and a deadly bacterial virus in Japan. It's amazing people leave the house. Microplastics have been found in penises. Legos would be found in mine. Jerry West, Donald Sutherland, and Willie Mays died. Too many legends for 1 month. Justin Timberlake got a DUI. If you're gonna NSYNC beers, you should be a backseat boy. Study has shown more people are turning away from traditional news sources. Where do they go to find out what's happening? Donald Trump was convicted of 34 felonies. Be awkward if the US president can't travel to Canada. Louisiana now requires classrooms to display the 10 commandments. Maybe children can hide behind them when they're getting shot at. Russia and North Korea are now besties, and Putin said Europe is defenseless and he could destroy the UK in 1 day. Probably shouldn't have told him our nuclear defense system is broken. The Australian army is allowing recruits from other countries. When the Aussies are preparing for war, it's coming. King Charles is on the money. First time ever, I'm happy I don't have any. Study has shown elephants use individual names like humans do. Imagine meeting an elephant named Dave. Wait, elephants can speak? Astronauts are stuck on the International Space Station as the Boeing Starliner capsule broke. Boeing planes don't work. Why did NASA trust them to make a spaceship? A mystery monolith showed up in a US desert. Oh good, aliens are back. Maybe they can go get the astronauts for us. The heat killed over 1,300 people during Hajj in Saudi Arabia. Global warming strikes again. Oil protesters threw orange paint over Stonehenge. Piss off everybody, that'll get you support. The French are threatening to poop in the Seine River to protest sewage contamination. It's a shitty way to do it. Town was evacuated after a train crashed in Arkansas, spilling nitric acid everywhere. That stuff only melts your face. 50% of pet owners have feces in their bed as they allow pets to sleep there. That's how my goldfish died. And there's going to be giant venomous flying spiders in New York City. And that is why I'll be in the hibernation station.
Well, good evening. And thank you for joining me here for Conversations with Taz. That's one way to kick off the show. It's never boring around here. It's never boring, darling. Never boring. All right. Well, hey, Sparkle Butts. Let's kick it off with a bang. Let's start off with this person definitely should be a single husband.
My wife that she could get out of my house and we'd get a divorce if she keeps on talking. Now she won't talk to me. My wife and I have been together for 6 years, married for 2. She used to talk to me all the time. She used to share her day with me, just randomly tell me her thoughts, stuff like that. However, she also used to want to talk about problems we were having. A lot. It felt like we were always talking about what I did wrong. She thought I spent too much time talking to exes. We were friends. I don't prioritize her over work. It's my career. Am I supposed to quit? And mostly that I didn't care enough about her. It was so many different ways that she came to that conclusion. But it was like we were just always sitting down for a serious talk. So, I told her about a year ago that I didn't want to talk anymore. I was just tired of hearing everything I was doing wrong. I provide everything we need. Can I just have a break? I told her that if she had a problem with the way I did things, then she could get out of my house and we'd get a divorce. She told me that she was trying to communicate because she didn't feel appreciated and that I had one foot out the door. But I think that's ridiculous. I know it's harsh, but I was at my wit's end. So now, a year later, she barely talks to me at all. When I ask about her day, she says fine. When I talk to her about work or politics or my day, she says oh wow, cool, and kind walks away. Her attitude isn't bad. She's very sweet. But it's just like she doesn't care anymore. I didn't want to talk about our problems anymore, but I didn't mean stop talking period. We really don't talk about anything that doesn't have to do with our life/household. In the evenings, she just turns on the TV and we watch something until bed. Now I don't know what to do because I just found out today that she won a pretty big award at her job, and she didn't tell me. Last Friday, she said she had to work late and it was cool. I didn't ask. Today, I found out that she was really at a dinner where she was celebrated for this award. She invited some of her friends and her mom and brothers. I ran into her brother at the store today and he mentioned the dinner and said that he was sorry I couldn't make it. I asked what he meant and he said the dinner, how I wasn't able to go because I was sick. I asked him to explain the whole thing to me so now he knows too. What am I supposed to do? Is she punishing me or something? Do I tell her that I know? Why wouldn't she tell me? I didn't think she'd take it this far and now I'm thinking she's being petty. Does anyone have experience here? I love my wife and I'd do anything for her, but I'm so confused. Edit. I have close contact with 3 of my exes. My previous wife calls me when she needs to talk. Her and her husband don't get along. I have 2 ex-girlfriends who I'm still friends with and I was friends with them when I met my wife now. My wife doesn't like them because she says that they cross boundaries but honest to God they are just friendly and we ended in good terms. It's nothing serious and I just don't want to give my friends up. Edit 2. Tried to talk to her last night. It didn't go well. I'll update later when I can get my thoughts together.
My guy, you don't know how to make friends. You don't have friends, you just have exes. And this is a prime example of you don't love your wife. You love having a wife. You love that status. You love the title. You don't love the person. You didn't prioritize this woman. So she stopped prioritizing you. You didn't care about anything that meant anything to her. When she talked about it, you took it as a direct assault on you instead of having emotional maturity. You just wanted to be right with no criticism, because I can guarantee y'all that if those roles were reversed, he wouldn't be as understanding as he's expecting his wife to be. Where all of her friends are exes. And I'm pretty sure it's not just random conversations. It's he will drop everything to be on the phone with them. They could have plans. One of these women have an issue. He's dropping plans with his wife to go be with them. Baby, if you are that close still with an ex, y'all shouldn't be exes. Y'all shouldn't be exes. I don't care what anybody has to say. People like, but I've known them longer than. If they are such a big priority in your life, y'all need to figure out how to work it out and be together. Now, is it possible to truly, truly be friends with an ex? Absolutely. But when your current relationship is suffering, that's not a friendship. That's y'all need to get back together. Now, y'all remember the conversation that had the interwebs going bonkers, banoodles crazy. Ladies, would you choose the man or the bear? That was asked by a man. And certain men were like going crazy. And then we got drizzle out of that, which was so disgusting. So disgusting. And then that morphed into parody satire videos of men creating sounds and videos of women being mauled by bears. Well, the conversation has morphed yet again. And the pick-me's have, of course, joined the conversation. And then there are people who don't know how to recognize a pick-me who have also joined in the conversation. And did I find them all in one video? Of course I did, because it's me. Let's take a look. Get comfy. This is a bit of a long one.
Men have their own version of the question. Who would you rather share your feelings with, a tree or a woman? And I'm just going to say it. I think this is the perfect addition to the conversation.
No, it isn't.
Some people are calling this the boys' revenge, but I don't even think this is asked in bad faith.
Yes, it is. Let's be for real right now. Let's be really real. I need men to care about their mental health in a vacuum. I need men to care about their emotional well-being in a vacuum. It's so dishonest. It's such bad faith to only be vocal about men's mental health or well-being as a way to shut up women. If the only time you advocate for men's mental health or well-being, for men's emotional health and well-being, if the only time you advocate for that is as a counterpoint to women complaining about some shit, then you don't care about either. You don't care about the men, you don't care about the women. I'm not talking about this specific creator, by the way. She actually does make content about men's emotional well-being, a lot of it. Sometimes she makes kind of pandery content, but she's at least putting in the effort. She's putting in more effort than a lot of men put in. And that's the issue, because she's not a man. Women advocate for men's emotional well-being and vulnerability more than men do. That shouldn't be the case. It shouldn't be the case that the only time men come out the woodwork to talk about their emotional problems is as a counterpoint to women. Oh, well, women don't like being assaulted? Well, sometimes when I get sad, they're hard to talk to. Be for real right now. Be so for real right now. These women are talking about, at least with the bear, the worst that it'll do is unalive you. That's the worst. At least with the bear, people would believe you. At least with the bear, people won't ask, what were you wearing? And then men come in like, counterpoint. I was emotionally vulnerable to a woman one time, and she threw it in my face. So, how are these comparable? Why are you trying to compare these? Why? This isn't the struggle Olympics. Like, this isn't about whose situation is shittier. What I'm talking about is perspective. These are not the same thing. These are not the same scale. If women are en masse saying that they are fearful for their physical well-being when around men, why does that require a counterpoint? Why does that require a, well, what about this? Why is that not enough? Like, what kind of cognitive dissonance do you need to have to say that men are natural-born protectors in a world where women aren't protected, don't feel protected, aren't protected? Think of every time you hear a man going, well, that's not true. I protected tons of women. From who? Other men? For every one of you, how many men have you protected a woman from? And how does that number not boggle your mind? Let's talk about the woman and tree thing real quick. Let's call a spade a spade. Let's keep it 100. These men don't want to be emotionally vulnerable. These men don't want to go to therapy. These men think emotions are weakness. They think emotions are a way for women to take advantage of you. This isn't a matter of, oh, I want to be more emotional, but I can't because women. This is, I don't want to be more emotional. This is, one time this girl hurt me when I was emotional and I never got over it. So I don't want to do that anymore because trauma. This is, some single dude on a podcast told me that you can't show emotions in front of women because they'll think you're weak and they won't respect you. So I'm just not going to show emotions. Y'all need to heal. Look inward. Seek therapy. Because I've done the polls with my sample sizes being hundreds of thousands of women, and overwhelmingly they say that they do not want emotionally stunted men. They would prefer their men to be emotionally intelligent, emotionally open, emotionally vulnerable. They want that. That's what the results have always said. But y'all don't give a fuck about that. You don't give a fuck about your own emotional well-being, because if you did, you'd be able to advocate for it in a vacuum. You wouldn't need to make it a counterpoint whenever women had a complaint about something. Emotional vulnerability is not a weakness. Being emotional is part of the human experience. Your fear of being emotional or being emotional around women is not about women. That's about you. If men were more emotionally open and more emotionally vulnerable, women would probably feel safer around them. They'd probably pick the bear less. That's my take on this. I'll see you guys in the next video.
Now, the first woman, absolutely a pick-me. She's just enough covert that she appears that she's not, but she is, which is a little toxic, but we can talk about her another time. But I also want to drop this caveat in here, because there are men who truly believe that they have emotional intelligence. There are men that are in therapy, but their ego and that toxic masculinity, they have not overcome. And before you go, but Taz, they're in therapy, how did they not? Because every person has the ability to act one way in front of everybody else that they don't in front of their partners. Because they can appear to be very open, very emotionally inept, and very in control until they're around that one person. Then it turns into, I don't care if you're around. I'm not going to listen to you. I don't have to ask for clarification. I already know what you mean. I know how you feel. I know how you see these things. And these are the same men that will proclaim that women don't listen to them. I'd rather talk to a bear. Talking to a woman is so hard. No, talking to you is hard. When we ask you, what's going on? Have you thought about this? I've noticed that when this, that, and the other happens, this is how you react. How can we overcome this? I don't do that. It's this way and that way, and you're the one that's seeing it. Catch what I'm putting down? This is why a lot of times You can't remove nuance from anything. And there's never just one or two sides to anything. And you really, really, really have to be careful about the men that seem to have a cape for every woman. Especially when you see them with their woman, their partner, and they always seem to be trying to humble that person. Because they still want that control aspect, and they will tell you this is the worst communicator in the world. Where really, they're not the ones communicating. Nobody was talking about you. We're talking about a video. So that's just the caveat that I wanted to throw in there, because when that video was sent, y'all know me, I had to go to the comments section. And there were so many men. Oh, no. I've been with my wife for 20 years. She still doesn't listen to me. Went to their page. All of their content was them saying what their wives felt. And I asked a few of them, is this what your wife told you she felt? Oh, no, I just know her well enough. We've been together 20 years. She didn't tell you that. She didn't tell you that at all. You just decided. Okay. So yeah, keep that in mind. And the same, yes, absolutely, the same can be said for women. There are women who toxic femininity is real. Just like the women that are like, I just started an argument for no reason, but I can't go apologize to him because that goes against girl code. What the fuck girl code is that? Because that's not in my handbook. Toxic is toxic. Now, remember, Miss, I wanted to be Timu Pearl. Miss, I'm going to say the N-word in order to snatch a bag. We have an update on her.
One thing about me, I love receipts. This comment says the delusion. Nobody said she wasn't white enough. Oh, really? Nobody said that. Well, if you take a look at her mentions over on Twitter, they look like this. They found out that Lily is a single mom and they don't like that, and they are speculating that her child is mixed race. That baby is not white. Your child is mixed. Your child isn't white. The white supremacist also dug up a tweet of hers where she mentioned that she dated someone who was Iranian and Muslim. And the white supremacists, they don't like the race mixing. They absolutely do not. More people saying that her child is not white. She's also posted pro-Israel content, and so the white supremacists are calling her Jewish. They're also saying she looks like a man, because of course they are. When you scratch a racist, you're sure to find a transphobe. More people saying that she's not white enough. This is an anti-Semitic meme with Lily's face on it, and once again, talking about the fact that she's a single mom. Yet again, more people speculating that she is trans. Let me make myself abundantly clear. I'm not here for anti-Semitism or transphobia. I don't think there's anything wrong with being a single parent. But once again, when you lay down with dogs, don't be surprised when you get fleas.
Two things. I've said this across multiple platforms. When people are, you can tell when they're going out of their way to enrage a community, especially the Black community. And if they're not going after the Black community as a whole, they will pinpoint Black women because they know that that is the quickest way to make money and to gain clout. Because so many people are going to jump on board. Like, yeah, second grade. Rebecca didn't want to be my friend, so down with all the Black bitches. But like I was having a conversation earlier today, there's enough content that you can be political, you can be edgy, you can share your views, and you don't have to sell your soul. Because who you are at your core will always be dug up. It does not matter how much you delete. Doesn't matter how much you try to scrub, it's going to come out. And when you're trying to flip-flop, think about how many times people have reminded folks, including Candace Owens herself, where she began and when she realized where the money is. Because when you actually show up to work every day and you're paying all of your bills and taking care of your community, you don't have the money to just pay a billionaire's bills. Trump. Also, those that aren't trying to grift actually have brains. They're going to critically think. And those that are going to follow them are going to critically think. They're going to utilize their smarticle particles. So they're going to ask questions. Instead of going, oh, yes, let me send $500 a month to the billionaire or to the millionaire that's complaining to me from their chalet in Colorado after they just came back from Cannes, from the film festival. And Lily went on. Remember, I told you all, she put on Twitter that she got fired. I was like, we need confirmation. There was confirmation that came out. But then she was like, oh, thank you to the Black community. You played your part. When are y'all going to learn? Even allies / accomplices to the Black community, stop giving them play. But it came back to bite her. Because say what you want about the aesthetics of Pearl. She is the poster child for whiteness. She doesn't have any features that they can say aren't European. And they're not pulling the transphobia out on Pearl because there are certain areas in Europe where women have societally manly features and they're okay with it. They make jokes about it. They make these women rich. But see, she was just blatant about it. When she stood in her kitchen and dropped the N-word and then doubled down on it, you weren't being edgy. You were being obvious. You were being desperate. She's like the girl at the party that wants your partner, that you've warned your partner about. Look out for her. She want to touch your undercarriage. And they like, no, she don't. No, she don't. She ain't paying me no money. Yes, she does. And then the girl realizes he don't believe, or that party don't believe that person. So let me just be obvious. I know I got this white shirt on. Let me, spill some water down my shirt and ask them to clean it off. Like the most obvious situation ever. The obviously not drunk, but falls into their lap. That's what she did. That's why they immediately went into digging into who she is. Do you think that they cared about Tommy Lauren, who was complaining about the Affordable Health Care Act, knowing that she was still on her parents' health insurance? And then she was born with a fucking silver spoon in her mouth? No. Absolutely not. They didn't even care about Candace Owens and her very public past. Why? Because she knew how to play the game. She knew how to build it up. She would drop little nuggets in conversation and make it seem like it was just natural to who she was. That would be like me waking up tomorrow and all of my content changes and I make a video going, down with the Negroes. It's obvious. It's obvious what's going on. But child, obviousness and oblivious. Now, once you have an established fan base, them motherfuckers is more loyal than a trophy wife that was plucked from the trailer park. And what do I mean by that? Case in point, the older millennial. This motherfucker never hits, always misses, okay? He's like, in a cajillion at this point. And motherfuckers are still proclaim that he's right, no matter what he throws out there. Now, when he made his eugenics riddled, drunken speech on a live with Harry, if you're on TikTok, y'all know who Harry is. And he came back with his faux apology. I was like, oh, okay. Some people were like, nope, never again. This ain't the hill I want to down with him. And I'm like, this is what it took. This is what it took. This is what it took. But okay. Then he removed the apology because something else came out and he spoke on it. And I couldn't find the apology because I'm like, wait a minute. He said he was pro-choice. And I was like, I can't make a video saying that with no proof because they're always claiming somebody's trying to put words in his mouth. Well, I wasn't the only one that remembered that tidbit. So here we have older millennial exposed. And I still don't believe he's a millennial, but I ain't seen the man's birth certificate. Let's roll it.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
It's very important that I make this video apologizing for my behavior the other night. I said some things that were completely out of pocket. I'm not going to use the excuse that I was drunk because no matter how drunk I get, I don't get to say shit like that. Being an asshole and being a smartass and being edgy, it needs to have its limits. And for what I said and how I acted, I sincerely apologize.
Wow, he really seems sincere there, doesn't he? Why are you skeptical? You know there's more, right? You're right.
But I also want to be clear that this apology is not for you liberals. If you're pro-choice, pro-abortion, pro-Planned Parenthood, this isn't for you. You hold no moral high ground and I owe you no fucking apology. Because if you support any of those three things, you're pro-murdering babies.
Wow, that turned really quick, didn't it? Notice he didn't apologize to the people he was talking about. That apology is not for those stupid liberals who like to unalive babies, right? Those pro-choice people. It's not for those immoral people. And you have moral high ground over them, right? You guys ready for it?
Was about abortion. Now, just to be clear, I'm pro-choice. I've stated this many times. It's not a surprise. If you think I'm pro-life, unfollow me. I'm pro-choice.
Talk your way out of this one now. He thought he was safe because he deleted that video. He's not even capable of being authentic, not one time. Keep getting deeper, dude. Keep getting deeper.
And due to the purposefully, intentionally short memories of MAGA, they'll let him slide. They'll let him slide. Because even people who were like, oh, I'm unfollowing, never again, they never left his following list. Some of the people. He does need to be pro-prison, especially since he has a lovely DUI that he doesn't seem to ever be turning himself into. And before y'all go, say allegedly. It's not allegedly. You can look it up for yourself. That's not allegedly. And no, I'm not spreading dirt on nobody's name. It's a fact. And he likes to try to shame people and act like he has moral superiority. And I know what it means to spiral. I have publicly spiraled for the greater part of a year. Videos still stand because I came out on the other side, and hopefully that can be a lesson to someone else. But this is beyond ridiculous. Like, you still have not learned. And just like my wake-up call for burning the candle at both ends was falling asleep behind the wheel of a car, I'm extremely, extremely fortunate that no one was hurt. I did not hit anything. But I was like, you know what? Kid, gotta sleep. At some point, you gotta wake up. At some point, you gotta want better for yourself. Now, since the older millennial loves to lie for Trump as if he is on the Trump payroll. He keeps talking about the payroll that Harry is on. And his obsession with Harry is, I think, actually, his obsession with Harry is very, very close to Marlon's obsession with chaos. Woo, child. Actually, at this point, I think Marlon's obsession might be worse. But I digress. We have an updated timeline regarding the whole documents case with Trump. And there's more locations regarding these documents than we thought. So, you know what? Let's let Chase and Oz break this down for y'all.
Girl, boy, do I have some tea for you today. We have a new little tidbit into the timeline and some things that happened regarding Donald Trump and Walt Nauta and those documents and Mar-a-Lago and Bedminster and the Live Golf Tournament. What? Oh, shit. Caught. So now we're learning. New today, we know now that Walt Nauta and Donald Trump took a secret trip from Bedminster, New Jersey, Donald Trump's golf course in New Jersey, Bedminster, you know, where they buried Ivanka and, you know, all those boxes of documents mysteriously went. So after Donald Trump received the subpoena for all of those documents back, right, on the 22nd, him and Walt Nauta took a secret trip from Bedminster to Mar-a-Lago in Florida before the search itself was completed. It's almost as if they were taking documents they brought to New Jersey and bringing them back to Florida, possibly. Because we know that those documents were on a plane that went to Bedminster. We watched the video of the plane being fucking loaded. We saw the boxes of the documents going onto the plane. We saw the pictures of Walt Nauta and that other guy that went on CNN. We saw him lifting the boxes up and putting them into the plane, which also conveniently was 1 week before the Live Golf Tournament would take place at Bedminster Golf Course in New Jersey, where those documents were obviously very much originally stored. I wonder if Donald Trump kept a photocopier at Bedminster as well. Inquiring minds would love to know. Love this tidbit of information. Girl, I cannot wait to see the evidence that Jack Smith has in this case. By the way, you can get your own tea mug in my TikTok shop, and I'm putting this here because I want people to see this video.
Now, we know Judge Eileen Cannon is well above her head, okay? She's just trying not to lose her lifetime appointment, but it's looking like she just might due to how she's handling this case in Florida. But since this now crosses jurisdictions, and we know state attorney generals are just taking a page out of Rudy Giuliani's book and making a name out of themselves, because Trump cases are a slam dunk, a hole in one, a grand slam, a hat trick. Not for everybody, but not impossible. And it will put you in the record books with no asterisks by your name. So I'm just saying, and we know there is a there is a phenomenon that happens with this podcast, because I say some stuff, we sit over here and have a little jokey joke, then a few weeks go by, and then either it's on MSNBC or we see it in a courtroom. Let's not forget the Murdaugh trial. I'm just saying, since those documents cross state lines, and we just found out they were originally stored in Bedminster in New Jersey, the neighbor, the sleepover buddy of New York, I just feel like New Jersey. Hey, New Jersey. Hey, girl. How you doing? Maybe, just thinking, you should go to the Google, look up Jack Smith over at the DOJ, have a little chitty chat with him. See if you can get a feature on this record. I mean, 2024 seems to be the whole season, okay, of diss tracks. Can we get the New Jersey diss track? We got the New York diss track, okay? The Florida diss track, that's Drake must be handling that. But New York got that Kendrick Lamar energy. New Jersey, can you go rub shoulders just a little bit, just a little bit. Just a little bit. Now, speaking of politics, we know that conservatives, regardless of their political affiliation, love to tell people in entertainment and athletics to just be quiet and do their respective sports when they don't agree with conservatism. But out of everybody you expected to be conservative, who do you think has decided that they want to rule with an iron fist? Nope, it's not Trump. It's not Trump. It's not Trump. Promise you, I'm not talking about Trump. Who says that they know right from wrong and they could do this? Once again, not Trump. Not Trump. They believe that they're a natural blonde. They do have an unhealthy obsession with their daughter. They did have an affair with somebody who looks like their daughter. They also had an open relationship with somebody who looks like their daughter. They were brought up in the Trump trial. No guesses? No guesses? No guesses? No. You. No guesses? Don't worry, I got you. They also had a reality show. But I won't leave you guessing any longer. Any of you Hulkamaniacs? Yeah, he wants to be president.
Well, you know something? We need somebody in there that's got some common sense. You know what I'm saying? So if you need a president or a vice president, I'll volunteer and take this country over, and I'll rule with an iron fist, a flat tax, nothing but common sense. I know right from wrong, brother.
The mere passing thought of Hulk Hogan becoming the president of the United States makes me feel physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually ill. I don't know if y'all remember this, but back in 2015, Hulk Hogan got ousted as a racist. He was literally recorded back in 2007 when he said, quote, "I am a racist to a point, fucking N-words." Now, he did describe what he said as offensive and unacceptable, but the fact of the matter is, the Hulkster was a self-proclaimed racist, and it got him, fired from the WWE, kicked out of the Hall of Fame. Now, since then, he has been let back in, but me personally, I don't want to see the Hulkster run for the presidency ever. I'm actually not sure who would be worse, Trump or Hogan. Ooh, that's actually a really good question. We already know what Trump is all about. Hulk Hogan, I feel like he would be Trump, but more of a meathead. Obviously, there is the possibility that Hulk Hogan is a changed man. There are stories out there about people who, usually when they were younger, they were racist, then they went to college, experienced diversity, and then they changed their tune, but, I'm not sure if that would go for Hulk Hogan, especially given his wife.
Hulk Hogan was old when he was outed as a racist. And let's not forget this caveat. When I said he was brought up during the Trump trial, the criminal trial in New York, and it was because he had a sex tape out, not with his wife. And yes, I understand people have a dating preference, but it's very telling when you force your entire family to be blonde. And before a troll goes by, girl, you have a money piece in your hair that's blonde. Yeah. It's not by force. My hair color changes every 2 weeks. Get into it. Yeah, no. And the fact that he's using words like rule, iron fist, common sense, you know the difference between good and bad. Baby. No, survey says, no, you do not. No, you do not. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm. 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 Get somebody else to do it. Get somebody else to do it. Because I could see it now. The State of the Union address. I have a little mini ring up in the front. He got to go dig up and resuscitate that god awful yellow tank top. He'll probably try to convince The Rock, who is the chameleon of all chameleons, to be his vice president. So now we got Hulkamaniacs screaming brother on the congressional floor where everybody else is trying to figure out what The Rock is cooking. No. Abso-fucking-lutely not. If there was a wrestler that I would want to see as president, Jesse, where you at? Jesse. Snap into a Slim Jim and get your ass on up here. Other than that, may you continue to rest in power. Andre, I would take you. I would take you. But just be doing some things. Just be doing some things. Just get him some Slim Jims. If y'all old enough to know, you know. I'm not explaining that shit. You can Google it. We were already embarrassed by Trump. Exactly. Mullet 2024. Could you imagine him showing up to the G6 like, oh, like they already have a problem with I mean, we all got a problem with Fetterman, but how Fetterman dresses on a congressional floor. Could you imagine him sitting in the Oval, Lord, looking like a neon 7-Eleven sign? You're going to have visitors coming with cups thinking that they're getting free big goats today. Shit. The press briefings will be off the hook. Let's get ready to inform. Today we have... He would be in the back with McMahon writing skits. Like, look, if we have Marjorie Taylor Greene come out, that thing with Crockett still going, can we... Yeah. And just have the story. Bring back Gen X WWE. Had the Bella twins popping out. I can't. A little bit. Oh, we ain't got no good sense. Oh, DX would definitely. You know what? Hulk would probably have the Undertaker as his VP. If y'all don't know, Undertaker is now a uber conservative politician in a little small town. He probably would. I know. Shocking. The Undertaker, conservative, doing some racist shit. Like some of these wrestlers, when they come out as conservative, I was like, you didn't see how you lived your whole public life at all? Not even a little bit? Just oh, okay. Oh, okay. All right. Now he's an Uber Christian. Bitch, your name was Undertaker. Did you forget what your signature move? What? Hold on. Sorry. My inner wrestling fan was about to come out a little too much. Little too much. Little too much. I almost forgot what the theme of the podcast was. Hold on. Sorry. I digress. But if y'all want to talk about it later, we talk about it later. I got some ideas. Just saying. You heard it here first. Now, we know that Macedonians are confusing, always confusing, especially when they think that they're having a gotcha moment against everybody else. Okay. And they self-own more than anything. Next saw Jim. Don't even get me started on Jim. Don't. The hacksaw wasn't all that sharp. We was all afraid of the hacksaw for years. That shit was dull than a month. Anywho. I'm suspect that part. I gotta look carried away. Okay. Fun fact: your girl is really into sports. I know. Don't look like it. But Macedonians have they need to start self-pleasing and stop self-owning. But take a look at this LGBTQI mom who's also a Trump glizzy guzzler. I know, confusing. But go on ahead.
Pumpkin, why are you coming at me like that? So upset. Hey guys, this is my comment. Of course they have their stitches and duets up. Why would they leave them open? But we have other ways. Such pleasant people. When you went ahead and said, make America great again, was never great. Maybe it wasn't great in your world, but in my world it was. That's all about perception, Pumpkin. And let's talk about the LGBTQ flag. My son's gay. And do you know who his biggest fan is? Me. So the audacity for you to come to any person that supports somebody that you don't like to tell them who they are is preposterous. It's not our fault you're so hateful. That's your fault. Why don't you go play golf or something? You know, make yourself happy instead of taking your frustrations out on anybody that don't agree with you. It's not all about you, Pumpkin. Anywho, I said what I said. Here it is. Imagine hating somebody so much that an acronym, Make America Great Again, can trigger them so.
First of all, America was never great for anybody. Second of all, you're talking about people being triggered about Make America Great Again, but yet, as soon as you see a pride flag, you're about to melt down. Goof.
She told someone to go be happy as she's actively a part of a movement that goes against her best interest and the best interest and safety of her son, who may or may not be out to the general public. And for everybody who always questions why, when I refer to members of my family that are also LGBTQI, and when I make little jokes like, you know, at this point, I think my family is just supplying LGBTQI because there's more that are gay that seem to be straight in my family, and I don't list them or post pictures of them, etc. That's why. Just because they're out to me doesn't mean they're out to the world. At all. At all. But she needed to make a point so much that if her son really is a part of LGBTQI, she had to say it. And if she only has one son and he's not, because we know how much they love to lie. I'm not putting anything on anybody, just tossing it out there, food for thought. They do not care. Individualism is the name of the game when it comes to racism. Yeah, I'm still wondering. That's the thing that gets me, because you make a great point. So America was great for her. She believes that her proximity to a white man made it great for her, but she doesn't understand her history. She's the type of person that would go no contact with her mother because her mother finally got the strength and stashed away enough money to leave her father. Because I'm going to guess she's Gen X or elder millennial or a zennial. And her mother is a part of that generation where nothing could be put in her name. And when it could be put in her name, her father wasn't going to sign the paperwork to get anything put in this woman's name. And before you go, well, you could leave. Where are you going to live? Where's the money going to come from? Where are all of these things? Because when they established credit scores, yes, it was to hinder Black, brown, indigenous people of color, but it also hurt white women. Because if you lived your whole life and nothing is in your name, where's your established credit? You can't go get shit on credit. And nowadays, to just rent, they run your credit. Where's she gonna go? Where was it great for her? Because the way she was filming that video, she's a passenger princess just like me. Oh, I ain't ashamed. Oh, I am most indubitably a passenger princess. Okay, if I can get away with not driving, call me Miss Daisy, baby, because that's what I'm gonna do. I told y'all I was 24 when I got a license, and that was reluctantly. If I could never, ever, ever drive again, I wouldn't. Shit is stressful. I don't know how y'all like it. Those that just have to do it, I understand that, but I digress. And looking at her page, she makes videos all day and night just to proclaim the orange douche canoodle and Trumpf, the greatest ever. If her husband leaves her, what's she gonna do? What's gonna be great for her? Because I'm pretty sure she's under an ironclad prenup. Part of me feels so bad. Not that bad. Situation got her mad. Yeah, there are some jobs that they run credit for. There are some clients that they ran my credit because of the information that I have to deal with in order to get it up on their what? Yeah. I am not going to learn how to drive in Chicago. Good luck with that. Now, we all have jokes about Nick Cannon and the plethora of kids that he has. But you want to know who tends to skate under the radar? Now, I've joked about white women, especially in Hollywood, that have a baby with everybody that they date. Hey, do you, boo-boo, do you. Okay? But I think y'all don't forgot about Elon the Breeder. Once again, a little bit of a long one, but take a look. Yeah, somebody else let him touch their undercarriage. And he doesn't even pay himself in money. So I can't even say he paying these heifers off, like they just doing it willingly. Ugh.
Elon Musk is shaking. He has now welcomed his 12th child. So every time y'all decide to part y'all lips about Nick Cannon making a bunch of broken homes, I want you to go ahead and add Tesla to that regimen, okay? There's a lot to this story. Let's talk about it. He has 12 children between these three women. I'm going to break that down in a minute. One of the babies with Grimes, he has via surrogate. He has twins with this lady right here, and he just had another baby with her. I'm going to explain who she is in a minute. But the only wife he has ever had is this lady right here, Justine Wilson. They were married from 2000 to 2008. When Elon Musk was 17 years old, he was born in South Africa, a white South African. I definitely don't trust it. When he moved to Canada, He met this lady, and she said that he was the only person that took her ambition seriously. You know, when he was starting PayPal and all that stuff, they probably had a deep, ambitious spirit. They have 5 children between each other. And since then, since he's become a 240 billionaire, $240 billion is how much Elon Musk has. Since he's become a billionaire like that, he has just racked up children and baby moms. So his second baby mama that looks like an alien to the right, that would be Grimes. Grimes to me is like more like a character than a human. And they have a baby whose name is a code. I can't say the baby's name. It's like EX equals squared 72. I swear to God it is. That'll be him right here. Well, they were on and off for years. She said that was the love of her life. I bet it was. I bet a weird girl like that never thought that she'd be in the palaces. But that's what Elon Musk attracts. Very, very smart scientific girls. And he says he's doing his part to repopulate the planet. Now, Elon Musk having a lot of children and repopulating the planet with white South Africans? In 2022, Grimes tweeted something that kind of scared me. She said, I don't need Starbase to be less Spartan. I was just illustrating the conditions at one point in time. Ha ha. They have a restaurant now, by the way. Not that part. This part right here. Me and E have broken up again since the writing of this article. Ha ha ha. He's my best friend and love of my life. And my life and art are forever dedicated to the mission now. I think that Devin wrote that part of the story really well. Sisk, peace out. The mission? What is the mission? She is also Canadian, really eccentric, and it's always giving me, there's something going on with them. But his final baby mama that he recently had a baby with, that's the one that perks my ears up the most. This is the baby mama, Sivan Zillis. She is the CEO of Neuralink, a company run by him. Now, she also was an executive at Tesla, worth $10 million on her own, but always connected to Elon Musk in a way. She's a scientist, and everything about this lady gives me Rick and Morty. But when I explain to y'all what Neuralink is, you'll see why I say that. Y'all ready for Black Mirror? Look at this here. Neuralink is a neurotechnological company founded by Elon Musk that is building an implantable brain computer interface capable of translating into action. Launched in 2016, the private venture claims its neural device will allow people to paraplegic and regain movement and restore vision to those who were born blind. It's a company playing God. It's a God playing company. To me, this might be implemented into human society later on, and I feel like down the line, the effects will be dire. Everything about it gives me Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. Don't take the chip. And that's all I gotta say.
Regarding the last part, already in human testing, there's documentation all over the internet. One person had to have their implant rebooted, etc. I've heard, we've all heard of hush money, but it seems like this motherfucker's paying hush babies, because he's going after women with a lot of potential and loading them up with babies. Because the young lady from Canada, oh, he believed in my dreams that he gave you 5 babies. He gave you 5 babies, but not himself. And notice in all this list, every time we hear about Elon's babies, remember the Johnny Depp trial? We went over that here. And supposedly, Amber Heard's baby came from one of the embryos that was frozen, but it's rumored that that baby does not exist, and all the pictures were like her sister's baby, allegedly. That baby is never listed, but he's going after highly successful women that he has dominion over. His latest baby mama is his employee. That's a hush baby. That is the ultimate hush money. Y'all out here giving hush babies. Hush babies? Hush babies. Yeah, Skynet. You know, I'm just waiting for Elon Musk to build a Raccoon City. Any of you Resident Evil fans, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. And I'm like, an eccentric woman is saying that you were the love of her life, but Amber Heard alleges that she threw underage parties for you where she got your juices going while she went girl on girl and brought underage girls in for you. Allegedly, because Amber Heard is not the most credible. She's not a credible source, according to the court systems. And he's doing it to repopulate the planet. Just say replacement theory, Elon. Because we got enough people. We got more than enough people. Now, the one baby mama that had a baby through a surrogate, kudos, girl. You didn't, I don't know if other ways you let him touch your undercarriage. But you still like linked yourself to what are these child support checks looking like? Because once again, it's public information. He doesn't pay himself. There's no liquidity. So what is the bit a job? Is you get to work for Tesla or for him? Because the working conditions under Elon are very well documented. I get somebody else to do it. Jesus, Allah, Buddha, and a few Hindu gods would look at Elon and be like, get somebody else to do it. Like, and he is just so, he looks slimy. He looks like he has squishy skin. Maybe it's the tism in me. And I do, when it comes to textures, I have some issues, but to me, he is equivalent of soggy bread. And my aversion to soggy bread is it is bad. It is bad. I recently tried to deal with it, thinking, you know what? I'm older. I can be a big girl. I can do I couldn't. And he he looked like a baguette that somebody soaked in pickle juice for 67 days and it slightly started to mold. Elon Musk talking about he's trying to populate the they'll say it because he's an Afrikaner from South Africa. Okay. All right. Well, do not forget, starting in July, podcast will move to Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Yes, Wednesday Sports Talk will be back with Chris. Monday will be back. Monday Mayhem with Mona. Oh, that's a lot of M's. I did not think about that. Anywho. And also Wednesdays over on the Ticker Talk. We will continue to be going over the lies told about Black people, the book. Read along if you have the book. If you don't worry about it. Reading it verbatim with some commentary on the side. And also keep in mind, this Thursday, there will not be a show. I will be attending a funeral. Don't cry for me, Argentina. It ain't that type of party. It ain't that type of party. I will be cute, though. So if you follow me over on TikTok, over on Instagram, you can see the behind the scenes footage. Nope, I don't do get ready with me because I don't have the attention span for it. That's the truth. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like that. No, I can do an Italian beef. We just have to eat it there. I just can't travel with it. because you saw how I fell apart with the soggy Philly. I'm having flashbacks. Because I've made Italian beef at home and I've been completely fine with it. But But anywho, thank you all again for joining me. As always, each one teach one, each one reach one. Y'all be good or good adjacent. Just don't snitch on me when I'm not.